Hi, this is David with RC Craft, and I just put a set of maxxis trepador 1.9-inch tires on my truck. I've already had these wheels. These are SSDRC wheels. But before I do that, I just want to talk a little bit about what I went through with tires. Originally, I had these tires, and they're the stock BF Goodrich tires that come on the RTR version. And they were glued on plastic wheels, and whenever I took them off, I tried to get them off with paint thinner, and I pretty much was just tearing them off. And then since I figured I already ruined the tires, who cares, I went ahead and cut two off with a box cutter, which none of those are good ideas. I'm just saying, you know, if somebody's in a hurry and you don't, and you come up with those ideas, don't do it. You'll probably almost ruin the tires like I did. They happen to go ahead and work though. Like these bead locks actually grabbed it pretty good, even though grabbed what's left of it. And also, another kind of a dumb thing that I done was I wanted to hurry up and put these on those wheels, so I wanted to vent them. And I tried to vent them with the drill bit, and it wouldn't actually make a hole. I tried to vent them with a soldering iron, like burn a hole in there, and then with a box cutter, and then with some scissors. And this is what I ended up with. Some really big ugly vents and some tires that are almost trashed. So don't get in a hurry. If anybody's wondering what the offset looks like with SSDRC wheels and these tires, that's what the offset looks like. The tires do not really stick out at all. Well, okay, maybe just a tad, but like they don't really stick out. Okay, so let's get to it. Get your trusty old 2.5 millimeter out, and it has six wheels, six bolts that go around in a circle. And just take these out real quick. And I picked the one that I'm pretty sure this is the one that I tore up the bead the most at. These are really good wheels because it grabbed the bead anyway. You know, it totally grabbed it, and it totally worked, even though I pretty much ruined the tires. I'm about to show that in a minute. So the way these come apart is it has these six screws that look like lug nuts or whatever, which is pretty cool, I guess. Okay, so it has it's a two-piece wheel, and it has this center hub, which is made out of aluminum. So the way this comes apart is you take those out, and then it just comes out like that. It's a two-piece wheel, two pieces, and then it has a center piece. So what it does is whenever it's all together, it clamps by screwing itself into this like that. So whenever those two things squeeze together, it pulls these two pieces together, and it pinches the bead right there. So that's how it works. And this is a piece of aluminum as well. These pieces are steel, and that's how it comes apart. So here goes the tire that I was talking about that I damn near ruined. So let me pull the foam out. I guess I chopped the foam up too. That's pretty ugly. But and there goes the giant vents that I put in there. Okay, here goes the second wheel. Same thing. Just put it in there and spin it. Comes apart the same way. Maybe this is the bead that I got really tore up. I'm not sure. Yeah, it comes apart the same way. Hub, clamps together, comes apart. Here goes a little two-piece wheel. And there's a little centerpiece. Ugly foam. And this one, this may be one, can't really tell that much on camera, but I think this is another one that I actually cut off. Even though it looks like it's in pretty good shape. If you look close enough, you can tell that there's little chunks missing and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is it. This is the one. This is the ugliest one. I don't know how good you can see that, but you can tell. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the one that I literally ripped off, and it tore some of the rubber, and it's actually really, really ugly. And it's missing chunks and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess it was intact enough to still hold. And you can see the ugly vents I put in that one. You can see the ugly vents I put in that one. You can see the ugly vents I put in that one. And wow, that's a huge hole. I didn't really intend on making them like that, but that's just how they came out. So I guess these tires are going to go in the garbage, and I'm going to put on my new ones. They look quite a bit more aggressive. They look a lot nicer, a lot more side like tread on the sidewall. Anyway, so one thing to consider, one thing to look out for, is you got to see how these things line up. See how the holes line up, and then the spokes line up. Then the holes line up, but the spokes don't line up. And so on. So you got to make sure you put it on where the holes and the spokes line up together. And that's not it either. There you go, like that. So that's totally lined up. Which I'm probably going to mess that up too. These are directional. So this is a right side of the vehicle, passenger side. So we got a passenger side, so keep track of that. Go ahead and put the center ring in there. And then you can notice how the foam is really not going to interfere. The foam is not trying to push through. The foam is not like, it's not like giving it too much extra trouble. So this is going to be a passenger side, so the face goes on that side, and the back piece goes like this. So you put this in there, kind of pull it around a little bit, it'll kind of fall into its little groove that it goes into, and you can place it on something like that. And you could fill around, the other foam is not going to interfere. So you line these up. Where the spokes and the lug nuts line up at the same time. You kind of wiggle this in there. Like so. It's not really going in. Just make sure it's pinching the right spots. Kind of pull it back a little bit. and it has its own groove to go into. Just kind of be gentle with it, be patient with it, and it'll kind of do just like the other side. So once there's probably like a 1/8 of an inch in between and it's almost there, that means it's ready. So now you can take the hub, put it in there, and start one screw. Kind of keep your pressure on it, hold what you have. One screw. Don't tighten it, just kind of take up the slack, and then put one right across from it. And do the same. So now everything is pretty much, kind of double check what you're doing. Everything pretty much seems like it's set in the right place. It's pretty even. You know, everything feels right. And you can set it down and put the rest of your screws in. Don't tighten them, just run them down. Just run them down. So since the squishing of the rubber is going to keep a constant pressure on these, there's no need to Loctite them, even though it's metal into metal or whatever. So just check one more time. Everything looks right. It looks like it's going to squeeze in pretty easy. And now it's time to tighten it just like a real car. Start out with this one. I would just go down about half of what it needs to be, then go to one directly across. Then go across, tighten a little bit more, go across. And go across like that. And then to this one. And just keep doing your star pattern, putting a little tension at a time. Until it's all the way down. And everything seemed to go down pretty evenly. Not putting very much pressure on any of these. And now they're all tight. Sort of. And now let's just go over each one again. I'm barely tightening these because in my opinion nothing on this RC truck really needs to be that tight. So you can double check. It actually pinched it very well, and everything seems to be in good working order. And there goes our second tire. Okay, so here we go, our next tire. This is going to be a driver's side. So the face goes this way, the back piece goes that way, and put the middle piece in. And just like before, the same way, it goes in there pretty even, straight, whatever. The foam doesn't really stick out or nothing. It should be pretty easy. This way. So those tires were that way. This one goes this way. So put the back piece in. Do the same thing like before. A little pressure on it, kind of stretch it around a little bit, it'll fall in its groove. You can pretty much feel it whenever it kind of pops in its groove. You know, just kind of be careful, be patient. Don't get too don't get impatient with it. Double check it's the right side. Okay, you can look around. It's not going to pinch the foam. Set it down for a second. And now you can align the holes with the spokes. Okay, so it's going to go in there like that. Kind of stretch it around a little bit. Kind of hold pressure on it. Kind of stretch it around. Hold what you got. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And voila, it's in like it should be. It has about, that's probably like 1/8 of an inch or so between the two plates, between the front and the back. Not too much, but okay, so everything feels about right. You could just line the holes up again. Start you one screw. Then go directly across and start you another screw. Take the slack out of them, maybe put very small pressure on it, just kind of hold what you have, double check it, everything looks like it's being pinched right, everything looks like it's in the right position. Just set it down now and start the rest of your screws. Just like the last one. Don't tighten any of them, just kind of run them all down to where it has no slack. And do it just like a car. I'm going to start out with this one. Go to here. Go to here. Just, you know, not tighten it yet, but just putting a little bit of clamp, just, you know, just squeezing it down a little bit more each time gradually. Not really very much pressure at all. Just so that way you could run them down evenly. Do a few turns on each one at a time, and you'll feel them kind of bottom out. You can already feel they're all pretty much tight. That's ran down. Yeah, just give each one a little snug each one. Then you're done. Double check it, make sure it pinched good. And that's it.